totally under control. It's one person coming in from China, and we have it under control. It's going to be just fine.
January 27th, a National Security Council meeting in the Situation Room was jolted when Stephen E. Biden, the newly installed Deputy Secretary of State, announced plans to issue a level 4 travel warning, strongly discouraging Americans from traveling to China. The room erupted into bickering. In late January, the president was told at the time about a January 29th memo produced by his trade advisor, Peter Navarro, laying out in striking detail the potential risks of a coronavirus pandemic, as many as 500,000 deaths and trillions of dollars in economic losses. Trump denied ever seeing it.
You see these memos that reportedly Peter Navarro wrote back in January. When did you see them, and how does these memos sort of square with what you've often said that nobody could have predicted this? It sounds like he was predicting.
I didn't see him, but I heard he wrote some memos talking about pandemic.
Yeah, so I never read them. January 30th, then acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and Secretary Azar called Trump aboard Air Force One as the president was making the final decision to go ahead with the restrictions on China travel. Azar was blunt, warning that a virus could develop into a pandemic and arguing that China should be criticized for failing to be transparent. Stop panicking, Mr. Trump told him. January 31st, the limits on travel from China were publicly announced. But the Times found that nearly 40,000 Americans and authorized travelers have come into the U.S. from China since Trump imposed those restrictions. February 13th, Secretary Azar announced a plan to repurpose a flu surveillance system in 5 major cities to help track the virus among the general population. The effort all but collapsed even before it got started as Mr. Azar struggled to win approval for $100 million in funding, and the CDC failed to make reliable tests available. February 21st, the White House Coronavirus Task Force gathered. Among the questions on the agenda, when should it be recommended that Trump take textbook mitigation measures, such as school closings and cancellations of mass gatherings? The group concluded they would soon need to move forward with aggressive social distancing, even at the risk of severe disruption to the nation's economy and the daily lives of millions of Americans. February 23rd, Dr. Robert Cadlick, the top disaster response official at the HHS, came across an email from a researcher at Georgia Tech regarding a Chinese woman who infected 5 relatives with the virus, even though she never displayed any symptoms herself. Is this true? Cadlick wrote back. If so, we have a huge hole on our screening and quarantine effort. The blunt reply: people are carrying the virus everywhere. The very next day, Dr. Cadlick, the top disaster response official at HHS, along with the rest of the task force, decided to present Mr. Trump with a plan titled 4 Steps to Mitigation, telling the president that they needed to begin preparing Americans for a step rarely taken in United States history. But the next several days of presidential blow-up and internal turf fights would sidetrack such a move. By the 3rd week in February, the administration's top public health experts concluded they should recommend to Mr. Trump a new approach that would include warning the American people of the risks